and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of On Point. Today with me are our usual panelists, Mr. Padmo, we got Mr. Morris, we got Mr. Aliu Kamara, we're going to have Mr. Gay. Today we will be hosting Mr. Moncia Kpadeh, who is the official spokesperson for the Unity Party. Lately, we had the CPP presented their platform and the final listing of all the campaign officials. And then lately we had the Unity Party presented their manifesto. And the title of the manifesto is, it is called Refocus and Rebrand of the Rescue Liberia Mission. We are talking about refocus, rebranding. This is the topic. This is what Mr. Waka, Ambassador Waka, former Vice President Joseph Waka, read to the Liberian people. He said they have finally got together and they are going to refocus and rebrand the campaign. Less than 6 weeks to election. So Mr. Kpadeh is going to be here. If he can join us, that would be fine. We know there are issues in Liberia with internet and all of that. If he can join us, we'd love to have him. He confirmed he was going to be here to defend, not defend, but to officially present the refocusing and the rebranding of the rescue mission. Please do me a favor and share this show through your network. Share this show to your friends. We will be interactive today. We will end the show a little earlier to leave time for callers. We will read comments and we'll allow you to call and voice your opinion. From now on to the election, every weekend we are going to bring a political party to either defend or to present or to clarify whatever misnomer, whatever misinformation during the week. So this is going to be like a weekend review when it comes to the political aspects of the campaign. With me is my co-host, Mr. Michael Padmore. Mr. Michael Padmore, welcome. And everybody knows that you are a member and a defender of the CPP, even though you are not. None of us here is an official spokesperson for either one of the political parties, but we are here to give an opinion. Mr. Padmore, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jerome. Thank you so much. It's always good when I can join you guys. And so I look forward to having a spirited debate. Thank you.
Great. And to my left is Mr. Aliu Kamara. He's a defender or supporter of Joseph Waka. He does not officially speak for the party like none of us here, but he comes in to give clarity, to bring some understanding and analysis from the Unity Party perspective. Mr. Kamara, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. You know I love you, right? I love you. You'd like to say too many things, but it makes me like you even more. I'm glad to be on here with all of these guys. I'm glad Mr. Palmer took a sabbatical for some reason, and now he's realized that this is the only place he can be. This is the best place for him. So I'm glad to see him return.
Great. Mr. Elvis Morris from the state of 10,000 lakes. I will call him a centrist, even though he's supposed to be president, but he calls it as he sees it. And that's a great thing. We all have to be very analytical, but at least be objective to some degree. Mr. Elvis, welcome, and how do you do?
I'm doing so well, Mr. Gayman. Thank you for having me on. Nice to be here with Mr. Kamara and Mr. Padmore. I must say I'm very disappointed in all of the top three political parties for different reasons, but we'll get to that when the time comes. But thank you for having me on.
Great. Mr. Padmore, please, you have a huge following. Please share the show on your walls and messenger. Mr. Morris, same thing. Mr. Kamara, same thing on your wall and in your private chat rooms. Now, let me read. This is from Front Page Africa with their interview with the former ambassador, former vice president. It says here, the topic is what the UP intends to do. That is the headline. Then it says, Front Page Africa delves into the manifesto of the former ruling party and why it seeks another chance to lead the country. Then at the bottom it says, the party acknowledges that development is intrinsically linked to the people and aims to elevate the quality of life for all citizens. Key areas of focus include promoting agriculture through mechanization, enhancing road infrastructure, upholding the rule of law, and rejuvenating the education and health sectors. This is where they now want to go. They are saying they are rebranding. Mr. Padmore, you are a businessman. You have done a lot of marketing. You understand the scope. 6 weeks to elections. 6 weeks before elections, the Unity Party is saying they are now rebranding. They are refocusing. What is happening here, Mr. Padmore?
Hey, man. You got it. You know the party, man. For me, I wanted to hear talk about the rebranding. I read it. I am as puzzled.
Well, listen, I think you are right. Mr. Kamara, it would be an injustice. This is your baby. This is something that you birth, something that you have grown over the weeks, over the months we've been on here. So today, it is your chance to tell us the new manifesto. Why are you rebranding and why are you refocusing?
Well, again, I listened to the interview. I listened to the former vice president. Press and journalists have their way of putting spin on stuff. The manifesto that Unity Party has on the website has not changed. It just happened to be the first time that it just happened to be that the vice president put it on there recently. That has always been the manifesto from the beginning. But when you talk about rebranding, Liberia is not a static society. Liberia is a dynamic society. So it is only prudent to look at the direction in which a country is going or the country intends to go to make the necessary adjustments so as to meet the country where it's at. And that's those are some of the things that speaks about the honorable vice president's leadership. He pays serious attention to the people, what the people want, which direction the people want to go, and he then decides to serve them. That's all it is. It's no big deal. It's just a bunch of words, but in short, it's just a way of finding out exactly what the people want and where the people want to go.
Mr. Padmore, now your turn. The Unity Party people put up a document, and it looks like they are running from their own document. He's saying it is just a spin that a newspaper put on there. They didn't do it. They didn't do it. Somebody else did it, and not them. Mr. Padmore, you as a marketer, as a businessman, I know you are looking at this. In fact, are you up? You wearing your goggles? Hopefully, you are not sleeping. Let me take off mine here because I don't want her to think that we're sleeping. So here we are. When you are seeing 6 weeks to go, we are talking about the fourth quarter of the game. We on our 10 minutes here. Is this a Hail Mary or what's going on here?
Basically, Mr. Gayman, they probably know what they're doing. That all it is right now. They have no idea what they're doing. Okay, you have to understand something. Joseph Boyka ran in 2017. He ran on a platform. Joseph Boyka has been present. Hopefully, he has been aware of all of the things that have been happening in the country since 2017. You wait until 50 days to the election, then you say you come up with manifesto, and in the manifesto you read it, so I will. Come on now. Look, people need to get something straight. Unity Party is not an opposition party. Unity Party is a failed administration trying to come back to office. They are not an opposition party. CPP is an opposition party. ALCO, opposition party. Not Unity Party. Unity Party not opposition party. They just took that label when we accepted them into the CPP. And they want to run with that label. Oh, we're opposition. You're not opposition. You're not opposed to anything. You're just trying to get back to where you were. That's all it is. And they are trying any means possible so they not come up with manifesto. Go read the manifesto. What they say in the manifesto? Oh, they'll make agriculture the bedrock. When did Joseph Boyka realized that agriculture was a bedrock for Liberia? You've been working in the government for almost 50 years. You wait till 2023. When you listen to young people talking about the effect of agriculture, then you take a jump away. Oh yeah, that won't come into. You are in the government for 12 years as VP. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf handed you 3 responsibilities. 1, the group of 77, you failed. 2, the youth policy and programs, you failed. 3, agriculture, you failed. All the idea you have going in your head, Chief, the 12 years you couldn't do anything with it. You bring my Ellie, because my Ellie give it to you and say, yeah, go with it. You fail on all 3. Now, to manipulate Liberian people, now you can't say, oh, I will change the whole agricultural thing. Look, this is nothing but a waste of time, Jerome. This is nothing but another ploy by this old government to try to resurrect themselves. And the Liberian people will see it for what it is.
Great. Mr. Morris here. I'm reading the manifesto here, and I'm hearing some of the old verbiages like poverty reduction, taking people out of poverty, resettlement, employment, housing. I mean, it looks like the Unity Party of, I remember when Ellen Johnson came with his poverty reduction under Joseph Boakai. Now he has now cut it into pieces. Now he's saying we take the people out of poverty with housing and resettlement. I don't know what resettlement is. Mr. Morris, go ahead.
Mr. Gayman, thank you so much. You know, Mr. Kamara said something that made my blood boil a little bit. Talking about how Joseph Boyka, our Liberian people, you know, the situation in Liberia is not static. And thereby, wherever the Liberian people want is what Joseph Boyka is trying to give to them. That's not what leadership is. You present a vision and the people buy into your vision and they believe that you have the right ideas and you have the capabilities to lead them to achieving that vision that they buy into. Like you said, Mr. Gayman, Joseph Boyka is almost he's almost an octogenarian. He's almost in his 80s. What now is this new refocus and rebranding? You should already have a manifesto as a political institution or even as a political individual that you stand on, that you believe in, that you think will be the right way to lead the country and bring it prosperity. We're talking about agriculture in this 2023 election. Joseph Boyka is riding the coattails of somebody like a Benjamin, I think the name is Benjamin Toure, Mr. Your former co-host is his father, who was at the LPMC, who did excellent work, and Joseph Boyka was a part of that administration.
Jeremiah
Toole, and gained some notoriety from it. So it was the structure that was around him. It wasn't Joseph Boyka going there and revolutionizing the way we did agriculture in Liberia. There was great minds, people who went to school for agriculture, great people who helped make that a success. But since then, since Joseph Boyka has been on his own, since the post-war era, when Ellen Johnson made him as vice president, the head of the agricultural ministry, pretty much they reported to him. What transformation did he make in the agricultural ministry? He has no new ideas. And that's the case. The last time we had a show a few weeks ago, people called me, "Oh, Elvis, you're a young guy. Don't be too harsh. Don't be talking too tough on the old man. Respect your elders." I want to respect my elders, but at the same time, I don't want to be censored. I want to be able to speak truthfully and honestly. Joseph Boyka has no new ideas. One of the things he said in that manifesto is he wants to pave highways to all of the counties. A noble idea, but then how are you going to get the money? This is something that we struggle with as a country, raising funds to build, our infrastructure. Our tax money, our tax revenue can't cut it. How are you going to bring extra revenue? You're not asking how I'm going to do these things, but you're saying I will do these things. So it's just a pipe dream. It's flowery language written by the brain trust of the Liberty Party with no teeth to it, with no plan on how they're going to achieve these things. It's lofty, but it's improbable that they can achieve it. So for me, Joseph Boyka coming out just few months or less than a couple of months to elections is laughable. It's almost an insult to the Liberian people. You had all of these years to come up with a concrete plan, to formulate a plan that is plausible to help the Liberian people with all the great minds that you have around you. And many people think you yourself you're a great agricultural mind, but yet you're just not coming up with an agricultural plan that is a pipe dream. That the Liberian people can look at it and say, well, maybe when he come there, when all the money will come in the country for us to build all the rules and all the great minds, the agricultural minds that we never seen during any time will just magically appear, and we will transform our agricultural system and build all the rules connecting the county. It's not going to happen. So it's really disappointing and almost insulting for them to bring out that manifesto. I'll leave it there, Mr. Gayman.
Great. We want to welcome Mr. James Kamara. He's watching us from Rehab Community in Monrovia. We want to welcome Ms. Laman. She's watching us from Ganta City, Nima County. Mr. Sam Waller, welcome. So we have all of our friends, our usual folks. Mr. Kamara, let me read something from the manifesto. I know you have a copy. It says here, honored Joseph Boyka's leadership will develop our people. In as such, we must truly transform the quality of life of our people. We must and will develop rational human advancement programs and utilize the latest technologies and state-of-the-art in areas such as education, healthcare, youth empowerment, communication and transportation, energy, the environment, agriculture, food security, housing, and human settlement. I mean, we're talking about a whole platitude of stuff here. How it's going to be done, what it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, who's going to be doing it. We have nothing. It is just something that is on here. So since you are here and you are a member of that team, talk to us. This is a lot of heavy lifting here that will cost billions. How is he going to raise the money? From where? How long is it going to take? Who's going to be in charge? Talk to us.
Okay, first of all, Liberia is a democratic state. We have a Republican form of government. Um, the president of Liberia does not dictate to the people of Liberia. We don't have dictatorship. But then again, somebody said Joseph Boyka does not have a vision. From everything I'm hearing from you, you are reading Joseph Boyka's vision. I wish I was 25 years younger. But listen, it has been done before. It has been done before. We know that there was a projection of at least $16 billion that was prospectively invested in the Liberian economy from foreign direct investors. We know that the record indicates that over $4 billion due to the lobbying of the government at the time was waived. We know that the government of Liberia brought Liberia credit back on fire. We know that through solicitation and other bilateral arrangements, we were able to bring electricity back to Liberia. We know the Water and Sewer Corporation was restructured. We know that. We know that Joseph Human Proctor was an instrumental part of that government. We know that roads were built. We know that new roads funding was actually secured in a tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. We're talking about a man who have learned government from the 70s, knows government's fault, knows government weaknesses, no government strength. We're talking about a man who have worked in a dysfunctional government from the 1980s to the 1990s and was able to actually prove his credibility. We know about a man who worked all of these years. So this man, when this man tell you I can build road, and you don't want to believe it, I don't think there's anything in this world you can believe. But let me just say this. Let me just say this to some people listening. They say, "Oh, Joseph Burger have no new ideas." I can sit here and say Everest has absolutely no new idea. I will just be talking just because I can, because I don't know that. Okay, but with this argument was brought forth in 2017, and some people bought into it. So they say, "Oh, George Weah have new ideas. George Weah has Citizen Zidane. He has this other person. He has that other person." So we gave it to George Weah. The records are there. You know, I would rather, to my brother, Pam, I would rather take the risk with the person I know than the person I know nothing about other than researching him on Google. Anybody can write anything about anybody and post it on Google. There are no record of this man creating anything. It is easy to graduate college and go work for someone, and that's exactly what he did. This is not a guarantee that this man have any new idea either. But I'm not going to debate that because I believe every human being living in every generation is adaptable. I don't think any human being that can have no new idea. If I speak like that, then I'll be thinking like Everett Morris. Okay? But look, let me just tell you this. This is no difficult thing. It has been done before. It will be done. Trust us.
Mr. Gay.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I had to choose between my family and politics. So
It's
right
all
before I
right.
came on, I received a phone call from the family. So
Listen,
I was just on the phone.
they are intertwined. So you can't do one without the other. The family
I'll be
part of
right
the
back.
policy part of the family.
Yeah.
Mr. Gay, welcome. And I like this part of the manifesto. It says here on page 2, I, Joseph Boykai, will pave all highways connecting the different counties.
Hilarious.
Joseph Boykai said,
Say that one more time.
I, Joseph Boykai, will pave all the highways connecting all the counties.
Wow.
Without telling us
In
how much.
100 days.
Yeah, we want to know how much it's going to cost, who's going to do it, where the money is coming from. None of that is being said, but he said he will pave all the highways connecting the different counties. Mr. Gay, go ahead.
I'm from Grand Jide, and from Ganta to Zwedju, that corridor alone, because it was very focused on that corridor to know how much it's going to cost. $100 million for that corridor. $100 million, depending if you're going to use asphalt, if you're going to use cement, right? $100 million. Then if you start doing the thickness of the asphalt, how thick, how wide, how many, lean and all of that, then the money will go up. But just regular, one car going, one car coming, $100 million. So I don't know what the GMB taking that money from to do it. In fact, it's not even feasible to do it in 100 days. Just
No, he didn't say
just on
100
the surface.
days.
No, the first time he said 100 days.
But in a minute,
The first time
they
he said
didn't
100
talk about 100 days.
He said his first
Then they
100
changed
days.
it.
But now,
The CDC, when they came out for it, they said they will create 1 million jobs. Then will push them and say, oh no, we'll take 1 million people out of poverty. Not creating 1 million
Let me say
jobs.
the road
So
to
that's
be
the same thing when
flyable.
they did.
listen,
But let me say this.
Flyable.
I heard before when I came on, I heard Mr. Kamara talking about Mr. Cummings just went to college and just went to college and from there he got opportunity. Anybody can do it. No, anybody cannot do it. He has a special skill set, right? He has a master's degree in fine arts. Not anybody can get work in finance. Plus, he was a vice president of Pillsbury Company, the food company, when he was at age 36. He led that company as a chief financial officer of that company at that highest level, managing company budget. So not anybody can do it. Mr. Comey has the skill set that Joseph Newman Walker doesn't have. Mr. Comey has the skill set that George Weah doesn't have. That's why George Weah will use a 18-year-old kid to speak for him instead of him bragging on his own record. So when you come here today, I came out fully loaded because I've been holding back and allowing you guys to, fool the Liberian people. There are many Liberians been in this country for over 30 years. Not one has reached the level in the corporate world that Alexander Benedict Comey has reached. Not one Liberian has reached the corporate level that Mr. Alexander Benedict Comey has reached.
So, Anthony, are we talking about running companies here or are we talking about running the country?
No, Mr. Gay.
No, hold on.
Mr. Gay, today we are focusing on
complex compound circumstances.
We understand
that between multiple issues at once.
Mr. Gay.
That's what the presidency brings.
Mr. Gay.
Being a president, you must be able to juggle between multiple complex compound issues.
You also have to connect with the people in order to win the election.
Mr. Gay. But yes, connecting with people.
Mr. Gay. Mr. Gay.
Where you get your statistics?
Mr. Gay, they may call you to order. Listen to the moderator, man.
Because you interrupted me, so I gotta respond to you.
Mr. Gay, next week we're gonna have CPP today. The topic here is the United Party says they have launched their campaign to rebrand and refocus their campaign. And during the rebranding and the refocusing, they made some pledges. And this is what we are talking about, like this one where he says they will pay all highways. In addition, he says the UP-led government will pay highways connecting the country to other countries in the region to enhance cross-border trade and interaction with our neighbors and construct feeder roads in addition throughout the entire country to enhance farmers' access to local markets, enhance local agriculture, and ensure proper management of the national road funds. And he went on and on. We are not only talking about connecting.
Now, bullet points. So did he specify where the money is going to come from?
This is
going to be funded?
There you go. This is where we are. For those of who are into management,
all of that's supposed to be ready in the manifesto.
Listen. When we are talking about management, when you are into budgeting, when you do the bullet point, there is a follow-up where you say, listen, this is the bullet point, but this is the meat of the job, okay? And then in that meat,
there's no one way of doing anything.
We have seen the United Party honor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
You see,
the United Party honor Joseph Newman Walker. What dividend have they gained since Joseph Newman Walker have taken over the party? We have seen ring situation. They can't pay for that ring.
I let it
go. Because Senator Witherspoon, who's supposed to be funding that campaign, is broke now. Is in jeopardy.
Mr. Moderator, you gotta mute Mr. Kamara. He's interrupting the show, please.
Mr. Kamara?
Mr. Kamara,
what did I do? I didn't do anything.
You're laughing loudly. What a man talking with you, man.
When what you are talking about is you see the CDC, you see the Bible. After you do it, you see it's 50 pages that line up everything, how much it's going to cost, who's going to do it. They don't have it. But the point here, Mr. Gay,
not only that, the United Party as an institution can't even sustain itself as a political party. Let's speak of that first.
The United
Party as a political institution cannot sustain itself financially. They always have had rent issues as a party. How can you then say you're coming to rescue Liberia?
Breaking down
United Party vehicles are breaking down on the road. There are pictures of them all over the place with United Party emblem on it. Vehicle breaking down. Can people even start going here? The vehicle then breaking down. that the party are going to rescue Liberia? Or they are so desperate to want government job back because when they leave government, they automatically broke.
Mr. Kamara, we gotta get you.
Yes, sir.
We gotta get you. I know this thing when we talk about fairy tale here, when you are talking about not only building Liberia, but you are going to connect Liberia to all the countries around there. It sounds to some of us like you are not actually serious. Because like Mr. Gay said, just the corridor from Saclay to Grand Gita, Two Town, Town, we talk about minimum 100 to 200 million dollars, which is we should be maybe 10 to 20% of our total budget on just road. We're not even talking about anything else. And you expect us to say not even that to connect the 15 counties, but you are saying now we are going to be connected to all the other countries in the sub-region. Mr. Kamara.
You did not say that.
Even you find it comical. Even you find it comical, Mr. Kamara.
No, you make it comical. You make it comical.
I'm reading.
And the reason when Anthony Gay come here and just jump all over the place flying like turkey, people have to laugh. You ask him a question, and he brings entertainment in here. You don't expect people to laugh. People will laugh. When you ask him the question and you make it entertaining, of course I'll be entertained. That's what's going on. So I'm not the one making it comical. You guys are making it comical. They made it not say in that manifesto that he was going to connect the entire sub-region.
It's right here.
You read in the whole sub-region?
Yes.
The whole sub-region, that's West Africa.
Well, that's what he says in the manifesto.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Connecting Liberia.
You can be explaining.
Connecting, he doesn't say the sub-region, he said the region. But connecting Liberia to the countries around Liberia, how difficult is it? So we have a contract, we have money secure. We don't know what you guys did with it. From Banga all the way. We already have that. We already have those funding secure. We don't know what you guys did with it. Now you tell me, from Vahon to Sierra Leone is less than 4 miles. Less than 4 miles. From Vonjama to Masata is about 10 miles. From Foya to the border of Sierra Leone is less than 5 miles. From Aloga Tour to the border with Aricos, in fact, it's a true stone. I mean it's a stone throw. Are you telling me that we cannot connect to all of these countries? Butuo to Aricos? We can't connect to all of these countries?
Anthony, let a man talk. Let's show some decorum on the show. Let a man talk, Anthony. Don't be too rude.
Go ahead.
I was asking the man question the same way the man interrupted me.
But you know, when a crazy man take your clothes, when you take them out,
You don't follow it.
you would be the crazy
But
one.
But the man not crazy.
Go ahead.
But I never at any time interrupted Anthony. I was just being entertained by the way he was flying around like he had wings. That's all. And I was laughing. But so for make it seem like this is an impossible thing, but I can understand. You guys are very conditioned to accept the minimum things. When somebody come with big vision, it's too big for you guys. For Anthony to sit down and tell you how much a road will cost. Who told you when you can connect TV cable, that means you're an engineer? So you leave those things to the engineers to discuss it. I'm not going to sit out here
and the Miss call his name.
Let's see, Mr. Gay.
California. It's an engineer.
We know something too, my man. Leave that thing. Leave it there. One at a time.
They've been giving you more time than you deserve. But go ahead. You didn't.
Thank you. I love it. He's entertaining. And look, let me tell you this. Nothing Joseph Walker has said in there that is difficult to do. One, we need to have fiscal discipline. Do you understand what I'm saying? Fiscal discipline. We need to harness our own resources in ways that benefits us. We have what it takes to develop Liberia. And I can actually understand why you guys are so skeptical and why you guys are so scared. You're afraid of success because you've been conditioned to think that way. Liberia is wealthy enough to develop itself. This government, the CDC-led administration, had all of the opportunities to do so because it had the support of almost the entire country. If we can harness what we have, go back and revisit all of our agreements, all right, to the benefit of Liberia, none of these things are impossible. First thing we need to do is make the roads pliable to every major city in the first 90 days. Again, he said pliable. When I was growing up in the 80s, and you are fully aware of these things, Mr. Gilman, you know that leaving from Bikina to go to Harper, Maryland did not take you more than a day, even though there's no quota. So
Mr. Gayman,
what does it sound impossible? Why does it
Tom,
sound so impossible? I am not surprised that Evans would think that this is impossible. I can understand that. Anthony Gay can think that this is impossible. I
I
understand
was
that.
on that
The
road.
only
I
reason,
say that.
the only reason why Anthony Gay have even had the chance to see Monrovia is because of the Civil War from Grand Junction Straight Ivory Coast. He was a bush boy. So now, when they're talking about this,
Mr. Kamal, are
they
you
have no
serious? Are you serious?
But let Anthony speak for himself.
Mr. Gayman, can you give me 30 seconds after he has spoken? Because I will.
The man speaking too long, Mr. Gayman. You gotta give him a chance to talk.
Before I left Liberia.
1 minute, Mr. Gay, 1 minute. Mr. Padmore, you've been sitting here and look like you've been entertained here. This is Mr. Kamara making us to understand that it was so easy. You were just connected 4 miles here, 3 miles there. But Joseph Walker been in government since 1973.
Yeah, not rural development minister.
Listen,
That was a public work minister.
Stop interrupting.
Listen, you see, when we I don't want to mute you, my brother, but what happened here, let's say CPP came to power and they appointed me and I'm working in the CPP government. For Grand Bassa County, I have interest in Bassa. I will go and lobby with Alexander Cummings, Mr. President, or Mr. Padmore, Mr. Gay, you all are in here. I need Grand Bassa County, need this.
That's how government works?
Excuse me, that's how it works.
Wow.
I would do it. I would go and say, right, my people need this, this is needed. In fact, I would give Mr. Cummings the reason to do that because I would say, if you do this for the Bassa people, you will be etched in their memory and you will be loved by these folks because this is something that nobody has ever done. That's why we do in government when we say, even when I was vice president of the chamber, the local chamber, we have something called the legislative caucus. That is a combination of all business owners, irrespective of their political party, and we go to Tallahassee and we lobby. And then the group from Tallahassee picks it up and take it to Washington.
You're surprising me.
Listen, we get funding from 2 sources, from our state government and then from the federal government. That's what lobbying does. You don't have to be in the lead to do this. Mr. Padmore, help me out here.
Look,
wow.
When Barack Obama was president, his vice president at the time, Joe Biden, lost his son to cancer. Because of that, Joe Biden has become very passionate when it comes to cancer research and the search for a cure. Because of that, and because of Biden's position, he lobbied to become the cancer czar. So in the Barack Obama administration, Joe Biden directed all of the resources he could to the research and cure of cancer. Ambassador Joseph Boyka comes from Foya, comes from Lofa. He was born in Lofa. He was raised in Lofa. He knows Lofa. He knows the difficulties of the Lofa people. He knows that Lofa, being head of LPMC, he knows the agricultural prerogative of Lofa. He knows the breadbasket of Liberia. Joseph Walker was in a very unique position to influence the president to turn Lofa once more into the breadbasket of Liberia. And that would not have only entailed the tilling of the soil, it would have entailed farm to market roads and all of those things. He didn't do so. This is not about, I'm from Lofa, so only give to the Lofa people. No. But it's having knowledge of something and using that knowledge to enhance the Liberian people. Lofa Liberian people. Lofa Liberian people. He did none of such. Nothing. But our friend Aliu today will sit here and tell us, from Foya to the Sierra Leonean border, you can churn rock. But to get from there over there is a day's walk. Yeah. So how do you then take your produce and sell it at the Sierra Leonean border? And this is what we are. But these are the people that are presenting themselves as the agricultural wizards of the day. And they couldn't do that. Joseph Boyka has a farm in Bomi. Let Joseph Boyka at their Unity Party. Let Joseph Boyka take the press to his farm and show them, say, this is what I'm doing in Bomi. And this is what I will do across the entire country.
You will not do it.
You fool! You tell me nothing in Bomi. We already been there. We seen it. Nothing in Bomi. They play calling farm. Nothing there. Nothing at all. How then can you come and say, I will do this, I will do that? And you're not even doing it in your own life. How will you come and say, you will rescue me financially, and you out there taking loan to live by it? I say you're taking loan to invest. It's one thing as a businessman, you say, I'm going to get a loan, I'm going to invest. You utter from your mouth, I live on loans.
On loan.
But I will rescue you financially. What kind of trouble? I remember when I was small, when I used to go to the shop to buy my little bread with mayonnaise and egg inside, or my little Coca-Cola. When I go to the shop, the guy used to have something on the wall, picture. On one side, you'll see the rich guy with the money. You will say, I saw in cash. Then you'll see the poor man on the other side. You will say, I saw in credit. I remember that thing. I was like 6, 7 years old. I remember it. This is the same thing we're looking at right now. Liberians need to wake up. We can do all this dancing and manipulation and all the funny thing. But the fact of the matter is, this man has no idea on how to move Liberia. If you can't move yourself forward, how do you move an entire nation of 5 million people forward? How do you do
struggling?
It's not possible.
Mr. Gayman, let me come here, please.
1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we...
but Mr. Gayman, I was supposed to respond.
One minute. I'll give you a 30 second, then go to Maurice here. But we need to take 30-second break. Ria will be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the forum. Great discussion, gentlemen. I think Mr. Kamara just embarrassed me here when he said from Foya to Sierra Leone is only 4 miles. And Joseph Boyka been government for 60 years and he couldn't pay 4 miles. It is embarrassing, but now he could have built 700 miles of road. Mr. Gay, you wanted to rebut. Go ahead. You got your 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Let's be professional on this show. Let's respect each person that come on the show, regardless of the person's age, financial status, economic status or let's say.
But who disrespected
No,
you again?
hold on. You have the audacity for each time you have the time to speak to throw some funny word at people and you think it's cool. You're older man and I expect you to be ethically and morally balanced on this show. You don't come and throw foolish words at people and you think it's cool. That is not cool. So keep it this way. You don't have to like me, but you have to respect me because we are on a mutual platform. Period. You have the way of always talking down on people. And don't do that to me again. If you do it again, I will fire back. I respect this platform. And I respect each person on this platform. That's why I'm giving you this warning.
You're killing the show, man. You're wasting our time. You're talking nonsense. Nothing you're saying that making sense.
Mr. Gay.
Okay.
I think he's preaching for mutual respect, and I agree. I have to second that, Mr. Kamara.
You can't be calling him bushman.
Nobody disrespected him.
Yes,
You
disrespect me.
The man telling you just respect it.
Yes,
Move forward.
Listen, gentlemen, it's
so
quite.
don't do that.
Mr. Gay.
I'm letting you know.
Mr. Gay.
I have no reason of disrespecting you.
Mr. Gay.
But don't make it your habit.
I don't care if you do. You already have. I said go over the topic. We need to move on.
Mr. Gay, thank you very much. On this platform, even when we are posting the comments, there will be nothing derogatory. If you use derogatory remarks here or comments, we'll remove you and you will be blocked. And we do that because we are not here to chase rating where we are cursing mom and all that. That is not a platform here. So yes, we will respect each other. We are all men, grown men, family men. We got children watching. We got family people watching. And we'll keep it that way. But one of the things that
Mr. Gay never went to Monrovia throughout. That's what I said, and I mean that.
Mr. Kamara, don't double down on these things.
Mr. Morris, hey guys, I got it. Mr. Gay.
So why did you take offense? Why did you take offense to that?
Anthony, leave it.
What do you want to talk about?
Mr. Gay.
Why did you take offense to such a cheap thing?
No, stop.
Mr. Gay.
Anthony, leave it there. Mr. Gayman, mute the man mic. Mute his mic.
Mr. Gay. Mr.
Mute his
Gay,
mic.
I never lived in Monrovia. I came from Bassa, came straight to the United States. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why we have 15 counties, 15 capitals. We all don't have to come from Monrovia. So
what is it, Monrovia? I live in Abidjan, it's 10 times, 100 times better than Monrovia.
So why are you offended then? Why are you angry?
Mr. Morris.
Mr. Gayman.
In a derogatory manner to talk me down. That's all.
No,
Anthony, leave it. Let's move
on. Mr. Morris, the man is saying Severlu and Guinea are stone thrown away. And he been in power. The gentleman said the reason he never lobbied with any government to do anything, he said Ellen took him and parked him in a garage and locked him up. He was a park race, not regular car, but a race car. And he was parked for 12 years. And Joe, we are parking for another 6 years. So that's 18 years of him. What kind of car is this now? He is saying Severlu is a stone throw away and they can do it in no time. But in 18 years and 60 years total in government, never had the ball to actually pay 4 miles. He said 4 miles.
Mr. Gayman, let me say this.
Grand Gita is 100 miles. We're talking about 150 million. This man is talking about 4 miles, 4 million. He couldn't secure 4 million to pay. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Morris.
Thank you. Let me say this. You know, the best opportunity we had financially to do a lot of things was the first 3 years of Ellen Johnson's Sirleaf government, where we had a lot of goodwill from the international community, a lot of donations. In the hundreds of millions was coming to Liberia. And Joseph Boyka admitted that they squandered those opportunities. Not just opportunities. When you say opportunity, it makes it sound vague. But money, you squander hundreds of millions of dollars, if not in the billions. You squander that amount of money. So where are you going to take $300 million, $400 million to connect, the counties, if not even more than that. Where are you going to take it from? Just looking at our national revenue, which is in the ballpark of $600 or $700 million. You have civil servants you have to pay. You have other things that you have to pay for. So what monies are you going to use to do these initiatives? That's the question we're asking. Where's this money coming from? Not that we can't, as a country, build roads and build highways, but based on our revenues, on our budget, it's implausible. Unless Joseph Boyka is going to tell us that he's going to borrow money from so-and-so. He has his friends in Nigeria who he on his jet. He's going to borrow money from that guy. Or the people who went to see him in Ghana, and he was selling Wodogisi Mountain to them to raise $300 million to build the highways. We want to understand how you're going to get those monies. That's the question here. Saying these things is great. Like I said earlier, it sounds great. We all, as Liberians, we want to see our counties connected, but it costs a lot of money. When he says highway, my understanding of highway maybe is different. I know highway usually is you have a long stretch of road, from one point to another point, and then it's connecting to another long stretch of road. Those things cost a lot of money. So when Mr. Kamara talking about pliable roads, and you contrasting that to a highway, it's two different things. Because pliable roads can be pliable in the dry season, but in the rainy season, most of the time they're not passable. So when we are questioning Joseph Boyka's idea, like I seen Sam Wallow say in the comment section that he would tell us during the debate. Why is it some kind of societal secret that he can't tell us in his manifesto? We gotta wait for him to tell us in a debate. We want to get all the information. You wrote all that long statement about your manifesto, and you forgot to put how you're going to do these things. Don't give us a pipe dream. Don't give it to us. We've seen President Weah. People are impressed with what he's done because we understand that the financial state of our country is far worse off than it was during Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's time, be it from Ebola and coronavirus, but also the lack of donor funds that's coming into the country, foreign direct investments that's coming into the country. So where is Joseph Boyka going to do different? What is he going to do different that's going to bring these monies back into the country? That's what we want to hear. It shouldn't be something that you will hold close to your chest and wait for the debate or wait for some kind of imaginary forum to tell us. Look, if you have 80 years under your belt and you don't stand on something that we can say 30 years ago this man was advocating for this, 20 years ago he was advocating for this, then it means you have no new ideas, because these are just the brain trust, the so-called intelligentsia or Liberty Party who put their minds together, came up with what they think would sound good to the Liberian people and intelligent, and Joseph Boyka co-signed it and they presented it to the Liberian people with no actual plan in place in how to achieve these things. So saying that this is your manifesto is insulting to Joseph Boyka. Manifestos are not written in your 80, as an octogenarian. You get your manifesto as a young, vibrant, person who believes in a certain way of governance, and you make a manifesto and you fight and you live on that manifesto as a political animal. You don't come and give us a manifesto when you're almost 80 years old. That means you have no new ideas. You're deprived of new ideas. You're deprived of ideas, and therefore nobody's going to believe you that you're going to transform this country. We're not just hitting on Joseph Boyka. I want to even touch on one thing before I even pass the microphone back, and I'll go against the CDC. Look, the CDC they have two things to learn. One, look at Money Captain, for example. This man, I never used to like him because I thought he was too close during the Charles Taylor time to Charles Taylor, and I thought he was a part of that Charles Taylor, government that killed the Liberian people. But looking at him through the successive government that has come after Charles Taylor, he's a capable individual. He's a technocrat. He's capable. He knows how to do things, and he's result driven. I think President Weah needs to look for more people like Money Captain to manage certain sectors of our economy and certain sectors of our government. He's capable. He's done a great job with the LEC. Before that, it was a mess. He's done a good job with it. But the last thing is Roland Duo. Roland Duo, who terrified the people of Lofa County, the people of Foya, along with Joseph Maza, aka Zigzag Maza, is somebody that CDC are putting their hand behind to run in Nema County. For me, it's an embarrassment. I support this president, but that's a decision that I'm embarrassed that this CDC-led government is endorsing. And also to the people of Nimba, you have brilliant minds. You have great people in that country, great people from the minor ethnic group, great people from the Dai ethnic group, people who are intellectual, well-learned, even PhD holders that you can present as your leader. But yes, this Roland Duo guy talking about they should give him position because he fought war for 14 years and he killed people. That's why we're against Prince Johnson, because people like Prince Johnson, he perpetuates this notion that unless you're a killer and a fighter who kill people and destroy lives, you shouldn't have power in Nimba County. And here's Roland Duo coming in that same breath, advocating to his people that he deserves to be a senator because he did the exact same thing that Prince Johnson did. But even to his advantage, he did it longer than Prince Johnson. So Nimba, you can do better than Prince Johnson, than Roland Duo. And CDC, you can find intellectuals for Nimba County. They have a lot of them. Well-read, well-respected men and women who can lead people for Nimba County. So I want to leave it there, but that's one of the things that CDC is doing that is really making me angry, that they're even supporting Roland Duo. Why would you support somebody like that, a Prince Johnson Light or a Prince Johnson Jr.? Come on. I'll leave it there.
Great. Mr. Padmore, today we are focusing on the unity parties, rebranding and refocusing. Mr. Padmore, you've been part of a lot of campaigns, political campaigns. The last time you and I were involved into the young lady who was on America Got Talent. So you been in the close.
American Idol.
Yes, when we talk about the war room, in the middle of the game we go halfway, and all of a sudden you decide to change all the players, change your jersey, change your clique, change everything. It says there's something intrinsically wrong with the jersey you wore and the members that you had. The name of your team is changing. That means something is wrong. What is going on in the middle of this election? We're 6 weeks away, and they are rebranding. They are refocusing. They are now just developing something called a manifesto. When and how do you rebrand? When do you rebrand?
Basically, you rebrand, or you find people rebranding as the players change. Because with new players come different ideology. And this is what is happening with UP right now. Okay? The mean people that are being under, the mean people that are being under, they're the one coming up now. And they're the one saying, no. We need to put this out. We need to rebrand. We need to carry the conversation this way. That's what's happening right now. That is not, look, that entire manifesto, I've read down. Look, there's certain things you can look at and know. You don't even have to be at the table, you can know. Sister Boga has never read that manifesto before. Sister Boga don't know nothing about that manifesto. There are people that are hidden hands that are controlling this old man. There are hidden hands that are controlling this old man. They tell him they control his Facebook page, they control his Twitter, they control what comes out in the media. They control, and they are controlling this manifesto. That is not Joseph Wega. Because you don't take 80 years old, 50 days before the election, then you decide, oh, now I'm going to rebrand my thinking. No. We already know how you think. Because we've been watching you think for 45, 50 years. We know how you think. So when we see something new at the ending, we know this is not you. You are not presenting this. There are other people who are remote controlling you. We've seen this before. 6 years ago, we saw this. Okay? People did these things. And today, we see what is the product of it. And now once more we see people doing it again. Okay? All the time we have heard Joseph Boakai talk. Joseph Boakai never talks about any one of these things. He hasn't talked about any one of these things. I think it was obvious that I mentioned. If you come to power January, and 90 days later, you make the rules pliable. You know what happens? You know what is 90 days after January? Like April. You know what is April? April is the beginning of the rainy season. All that rule where you now made pliable will become unpliable. But the only person that will say such things is somebody with no new idea. When 40 years ago, he was driving unpliable roads going to Lofa. For him, that is what it should be. We are in 2023, and you're talking about pliable road. Instead of telling us whether you're going to put asphalt or cement, you're telling us you're going to go grade out the road. Because that's what you're telling me, you're going to grade out the road. We've been grading the road for the last 50 years, and now you want for the class for you because you're going to grade out the road? Come on now. We need new ideas. I've been watching former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf for the last year and a half, 2 years. Every 2-3 months, she leaves the country. She attends some sort of speaking engagement. Yep. As old as this lady is, she is still mingling with the powers that be around the globe. The people that she was able to network with to bring that investment to Liberia, she's still talking to those people. She's still interacting with those people. Since 2018 January, where did you not see Joseph Boyka go beside Costa Basement? Where they men getting their money from? No, because no, we have to be serious. He wants to hold onto the Omar Kote to Allen to say, oh, the money that Ellen brought to Liberia, I will bring it to Liberia. There's a lie. He doesn't have the capability of doing that. He knows nobody. Who knows Joseph Boyka? Who knows Joseph Boyka? Where are you getting the money from? There's no money that he bringing. Ellen brought this money to Liberia. It was Ellen that did it. Without Ellen, the party get no money. They couldn't get money even for wash up. Then I didn't want to bring billions of dollars to Liberia. Come on now. Let's be serious here. This is not going to happen. These people are just, all they want to do, they want to return to government job so that government can support his health care, provide, lay money so he can live for his family, and the rest of the hyenas and the charlatans that have surrounded and said by him, they just want to steal the rest of the government money. They want to ride big cars. The people know what it is. They know what it is. To ride $80,000, $90,000 car, to sit behind big desks, to be able to fly first class all over the world, collect per diem, and build big horses. They know what they want to do. This is exactly what United Party. Look, the only thing I will give United Party, the only thing I will give United Party, I'll tell you, if they get power, it will not get any worse, but it will not get any better. None, nothing. For Liberia to get better, Liberians have to make a choice to vote for Alexander Cummings. That's the only person that has anything that can provide you right now that will make your lives better, that will make the country better. And I hold on that.
Great. Mr. Kamara, let me read to you what Forbes magazine said about rebranding. And the question is, why do companies and institutions rebrand? It says, when the reputation is tarnished, over time, the company's or the entity's image may become outdated, no longer reflect the core values. A brand can refresh a company's new look, feel, making it more relevant and attractive to today's circumstances. So basically, when you say we are rebranding, just like I said earlier,
something go wrong.
In the Unity Party, the thinkers have come together and say, you know what? There is no traction here. Our message, like somebody mentioned the word, no new ideas. I think what Mr. Morris that said it. It says here that you are irrelevant, you are outdated, you need to speak the modern language. They say modernization. So, Mr. Kamara, are you downplaying the fact that Unity Party is archaic? That when you just say Johnny time passed, your time has passed?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, let me make a suggestion on the show today.
Same wrong.
I want you to start bringing people on here that know what they're talking.
So you don't know what you're talking?
For people to just be talking, just talking. No actual facts, no clear understanding of what they're talking about. Sometimes can be entertaining. You guys ask for us to be serious, and I'm being serious now. Okay? For people to just be talking, how can you tell me because somebody said the road is pliable? That means that they're telling you that they will only grade the road. How do you know? How do you interpret what somebody mean by road being pliable? How do you interpret that? Why can't you ask them? You say, "Oh, Joseph Boca have no new idea. You just want to do this. You don't know nobody." How do you know all these things? This is what I call waste of our time. Okay, if you have never been, it's throughout when we live a similar normal life. If you have never been on those roads, how can you then debate the road? You can't debate the road. You have to discuss things that you know. If you don't know it, you just a journalist just come who wants to act like a politician when you actually don't know what you're talking about. Let's be serious for a minute. All right. When you talk about Joseph Boca was in Lofa County, he was in LPMC, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Joseph Boca was in Lofa County as an agriculturalist. And if you were living in Liberia at the time, you will know that Lofa County was the breadbasket of Liberia. That was his capacity. You're talking about why Joseph Boca did not build road in Lofa County. How can somebody talk like that? How can an agriculture minister build roads? Do you know that the agriculture minister is functioning under the vision of the president of that country? Do you know that the ministers operate under the vision of the country and the president decides that no road is going to Grand Crew, like Judge we are there? Do you think any Grand Crew citizens will go put road in Grand Crew? Build all the highways in Grand Crew? How can you guys suggest something like that? Now, for somebody to just tell me, oh, this person has no new idea. First of all, I am not Joseph Boca. If I was the one somebody addressed that would be disrespect to the highest. And you people sitting up here talking about disrespect, when you're sitting out here disrespecting other people's parents, how do you know somebody have no new ideas? How will you just sit there? It's just a kind of go to the next person, man.
Mr. Kamara, I think you just made my point here. I agree that you say we should bring people who know. And obviously, since you are on here, you don't know because I am reading your manifesto word for word. How can you say I'm not coming with facts?
You say Joseph Boca did not read the manifesto. You don't know nothing about the manifesto. Who can talk like that?
Mr. Kamara, if you put up a manifesto, if you put up a public policy, and you wanted people to come and ask you what you mean, that means you don't know what you are talking about because that means
our manifesto should give now your explanation. Is that what manifesto is?
You are not clear. If people are confused, the objective of communication, effective communication, is the people with whom you are communicating should be able to understand what you are saying. If you are telling Mr. Padmore to ask you what you meant, that means you are not clear. And this is what we are talking about. When you say we are going to connect the 15 counties without corresponding information to see how you're going to do it, when it's going to happen, how long it's going to happen, how much it's going to cost, who's going to be the expert doing this. You don't supply any of those information. You want us to fill in the blank, and then when we fill in the blank, you say they should bring Mr. Padmore.
In a manifesto,
Mr. Gayman, I'll ask you for 10 seconds, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I just want to buttress what Mr. Padmore said in regards to the manifesto. I think the reason he said that is because it doesn't reflect the characteristics of Joseph Boakai, who he has been politically in our history. We just heard a few months ago there was this whole thing about arrest, this whole thing about agricultural rules, this, that, and the other. What happened to that? What happened to that? Even though I don't support JMB, I thought that was an effective strategy. It's a catchy word. You can sell on it. Why come up with a complete new idea with 50 or so days to go to election? You're going to confuse the people. So which is it? Is it arrest? Is it this manifesto with all of this long writing that you will, I will, without stating how you will? So we want to see some consistency. If you're coming up with something that's almost antithetical to what you said previously, then it means that you have no concrete direction in which you want to take the country. Like Mr. Kamara said earlier, Liberia is not static. So the way that people go to how Joseph Boyka will blow, is he a thin sheet of paper that anywhere the wind blows, he will go with it? You have to be principled. You have to stand on something. Have a history of believing in this ideology. That's how you want to lead this country. That's your vision. You have a vision that has been steadfast throughout your political career. You can tweak it. You can have some changes to it. But so far, we've never seen Joseph Boyka have a consistent vision for this country, or even a political ideology that we can, that we can say that's what Joseph Boyka believes in. That's the form of government that he wants to bring to our people. We've never seen that from him. That's why I just want to make that point. I'll give it back to Mr. Pablo.
Agriculture is in arrest. Road is in arrest. Everything is the manifesto. It's in there.
Listen, Mr. Kamara, the arrests have been arrested. We can tell because it's not here. So this is what we are saying. You see, Mr. Dualo here is a supporter and a thinker in the Unity Party. He's a writer, and even he is contradicting Mr. Joseph Boyka when he says here they are not rebranding, they are re-emphasizing. It's just like Ellen Johnson said.
But he's right. He's right.
Ellen Johnson said we're not firing you, but we're downsizing.
Yeah,
you let all the people off. He said you didn't fire them, you get downsized. So this man saying we're not getting rid of arrest, we're just re-emphasizing.
It's difficult having a conversation with people only expressing feelings. It's very difficult. Everybody is only expressing their feelings, their dislike of Joseph Boyka. That's all they express. I want some facts here.
Mr. Padmore.
Anybody can replace you.
Mr. Padmore, I think when before we came on here, I sent everybody's attention to the interview, the tape, and the writer from Front Page Africa, not mine, not yours, not anybody. And the manifesto says here, Unity Party unveiled elaborate manifestos to, in quotation mark, refocus and rebrand the rescue mission. So how come Mr. Boyka, Mr. Kamara, who's supposed to be a member of this team, don't know anything about what is written here? Simply like Mr. Dualu here saying, no, it's not rebranding, but it's written right in big letters. It's a rebranding. I've sent it to everybody. It's there. This is not Kamara's. It's not Morrison's thing. It's not Padmo. It's not Gay. It's not mine. We are reading because the CEO of Focus on Liberia told us to stick with the topic. The topic is Unity Party rebranding and refocusing the rescue mission. That's not me. I didn't say this. This is what is written. And we quote it in verbatim, word for word. What they said is here. Then this man wants to tell us that we are not coming up with facts. What more facts can you have than what is written? Mr. Padmo Charming.
No, Mr. Pablo almost spoke.
Okay, Mr. Gay, excuse me, Mr. Gay, go ahead.
Oh, so
here's the thing.
Okay, say my party, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that party.
So let me say this, right? I can call the company Nina because I'm no longer with them. I used to work for Comcast, and the new Comcast was so sour in the ear of customer until they introduced a brand called Xfinity in 2011.
That's correct.
Right? So there you go. Everywhere you see Xfinity, but it's the same Comcast. Even Charter Cable went to Spectrum. They left the name Charter and they called themselves Spectrum, right? Because the company knew that name, customer was sick and tired of it. So they needed something new. When we show up to the customer, how they say, oh, I like Xfinity better. I can be saying in my heart, but it's the same Comcast anyway. You just have that brand, right? Just the brand. In politics, however, this is a dangerous place to be. When you struggle with campaign slogan, when you struggle with campaign agenda, you struggle. Hillary Clinton tried 7 different campaign slogans before she settled with Stronger Together. It's the same party here with the Unity Party. This is not the first slogan they started with. There's done it first.
And arrests were effective. It was effective. I agree with
But the arrest, that very arrest, we put hole in that arrest on a very short and on our platform because it lacks technological approach in the 21st century technological economy that we found ourselves in. There's nothing about technology in this whole play. Then they say education. The word education does not automatically mean technology. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. The word education does not necessarily mean technology. I'm in the field of technology. I know what I'm talking about. So you can tell me because you have education, so automatically we're going to have fiber optic broadband connectivity across Liberia? No. No. The only person with that plan in Liberia today is President Cummings. And the United States government, Joe Biden, have signed a $30 million United States fiber connectivity throughout Liberia. It has been signed. And the only party that has a platform ready to go, ready to roll that out, is the CPP.
Anthony, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You're talking about Cummings doing fiber optics in Liberia. We know it's even more expensive than even building one stretch of highway.
But the
How is
US
he going to do it?
sponsoring that one. They already signed
Oh, so that donor program. Why they can give it to Cummings, but they can't give it to We Are Boyka?
Because of corruption.
They don't have a platform. They don't have a platform. They didn't even consider the importance of having connectivity across the breadth level Liberia. Because let me say this to you. There is no industry today will function without the internet. No industry. Not the healthcare industry, not the education industry, nowhere. Right now, today, you will find someone at the University of Liberia that email address is not .edu, it's .gmail.com. Gmail. That's how sad and backwards our country is, technologically. So let me tell you today, for a 21st century presidential candidate to not include technology in that platform, then they are operating somewhere else.
Anthony, you have to build the foundation. You have to build a foundational infrastructure before you can graduate to technology. A broadband fiber optic connectivity.
That infrastructure plan, the CPP has it laid out.
Yeah, but you got to first get there. You got to first take that first step before you get to fiber optics.
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow or next Sunday is going to be CPP, and we're going to. Today we are talking about.
You know how many jobs that can be created?
Mr. Gay,
Anthony,
Mr. Gay, Mr. Gay. Next Sunday is CPP's turn. Bring your platform. Bring everything you have with this. Today
we coming.
Listen, come on, we'll be waiting for you, ladies and gentlemen. Next Sunday it's gonna be a Royal.
Anthony, be quiet. Let him host the show, my man.
It's gonna be Royal Rumble next Sunday. We're gonna have CPP. We are taking a quick break. When we come back, we are going to go to our calls. We will take 30 minutes to respond to all the calls. The numbers is across this is scrolling across the screen. Please call the numbers if you want to participate. If not, we're going to continue talking about rearresting the arrest. Because that arrest there look like, I don't know who somebody arrested. Either the CPP arrested the arrest or CDC had demolished the arrest, and now they said they didn't discard the arrest, but they expanded the arrest. So they expanded the arrest across the country.
There's a phrase that I coined. I said JMB needs arrest. Needs arrest. Hey, relax.
We'll be right back.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
welcome back to the debate. Today is Unity Party's Day. They are rebranding, they are refocusing, and we are here to discuss. If you want to be part of the discussion, please call the number. It's scrolling across. The next 29, 30 minutes is going to be geared towards your call. If you call, we'll take your call and respond to that. If not, we're going to continue the discussion and read comments. So the lines are open. Call and join part of the debate. We are here, open, is ready. If you want to call through Mr. Padmo, you can call Mr. Padmo directly, and he's going to definitely pull you through. If you want to call Mr. Aliyo Kamara, you can do that. If you're a Unity Party man and you don't like the CPP so bad that you don't want to call Mr. Padmo, call Aliyo, he will pull you on. If you want,
don't call Aliyo.
Okay. Somebody is calling. Let me see who is it here.
Don't call Aliyo.
Go ahead. Who is this? Yes, go ahead. Your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Dualu, Mr. Gayman. What's going on?
Okay, go ahead. Talk to me, Dualu.
Okay, we live?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Listen, man. How can we sit on the network and you expect a political organization not to restructure its system to be more effective? The idea, look, you can call it rebranding what you want. I can call it restructuring. I can call it re-emphasizing. Just because you gave something a name doesn't mean that's what it is. Read the entire document. And number two, they have not gotten rid of arrest. They re-emphasized arrest. In fact, the other additional hour to arrest is the evolution of the political organization. When you guys sit on the show and you just explain something that's not making any sense, have you guys read the document? Go to joebarker.com and read the document in its entirety. This is not one man. Omar Barker is not going to run every ministry. Okay, everything is laid out. So, how's he going to achieve these goals? Lay out in the document how the rules are going to be achieved. Everything is laid out. When he talks about agriculture, it's laid out. When he talks about job in the country, it's laid out. Everything is explained in detail how they're going to be achieved. So this is crazy. You guys sit in the network and claiming, oh, the man is in this 90th year and he comes to the brand new manifesto. So listen, if you're going to run the country, you got to constantly be evolving. Your age does not play any role into it. This is why you got young people around you to keep expanding this operation so we can provide solutions for our country. Let's stop messing around and claiming because this man, oh, he has no new idea. This is crazy. We can't do that. Thank you so much, Mr. Gayman.
That is Mr. Dualu here. Now, Mr. Dualu, obviously, he is a propagandist. He's a writer. He's a member of the Unity Party. You see how cleverly he didn't discuss the idea. How do you rebrand in the fourth quarter of a game when the game is almost over? Election is within 6 weeks.
But why even rebrand when you're doing so well? If you're doing well, you don't have to rebrand. It shows that he's not doing well. That's why he has to rebrand.
Mr. Gilman.
Yes.
That's the point.
Mr. Kamara,
Mr. Gilman, look, listen. I want you to set the guideline for the topic. Let it be more regulated. Then for people to just be discussing their feelings here. I agree with all discussing opinion, but at least let it be directed, at least to the point that we're here for. Somebody say the man must go back to arrest. Is road not in arrest? Is agriculture not in arrest? All of those things, are they not in arrest? Now you want about education. Oh, just because somebody says education, it does not necessarily mean technology. Hey man, why don't you go and read the education platform that he has? Why would you talking? That's why I'm getting a little frustrated because listen, just because I don't like you, don't make you just make statements without balancing anything.
Let him talk, Anthony. Let him talk.
Go ahead.
So arrest didn't go anywhere. Everybody say, okay, you just say arrest. It's an acronym. It's an acronym. It's an acronym. Now the man is not only breaking arrest down now. The man is giving you detail. What he would do first with agriculture. He gave it to you. You don't want that again. He'll tell you what he will do a road, how he will connect the road, where he will connect the roads. In nutshell, you don't want that again. You say that's not arrest. Even though agriculture for aid, ARA is for road, but you said that is still not arrest.
Mr. Kamara, what's the party official platform? What's the party official platform? Is it his manifesto or is it arrest? Please tell us.
But wait a minute now. Let me ask you a question. How do you understand manifesto?
But listen, Mr. Kamara, it is you who said you are.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, it is you who say you are rebranding.
I know you hammer that
refocusing.
wall whole day.
It is not us. You say you are rebranding and you are
When Joseph,
refocusing.
when
So-
Baka first came, he was talking about think Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. That one went away. We can't hear about it no more. We can't
Stopped that? Has he stopped saying that?
We haven't heard about it since I don't know how many years ago. We haven't heard him say it once.
Boy.
Have we? I mean, everybody on the platform can second if they've heard it.
Think
I haven't heard it in
Liberia,
a long
love
time.
Liberia, build Liberia is something he believes in. It has nothing to do with manifesto. You don't expect him to put that in manifesto again.
Political institutions, they have manifestos. Before you join a political party, you know what that political party manifesto is.
Mr. Gayman, if I may, I have a question.
Listen,
Can you go to the educational sector of the JMB platform and let hear what is outlined on the education, please?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Mr. Kamara, you want that fact? Please read it.
You go on the education sector.
Can we post the number so that people can call? Is there a way to open the phone lines?
Yes, the number is posted. That's why the people are calling. So if you want to,
it's not posted, or you can post your phone number so you can call your number.
The man get thing for himself. The man not get no ticket faculty. The man not know nothing. People just can just be talking like that.
Let's leave all of that back and forth, Mr. Kamara. Go to the education sector of the Workers' Plan and read to us what is outlined for education in there, please.
You know what I'm doing? I stop on
Look, this is a 2-hour show. We don't got time for that. I don't think it's fair for you to say.
But who wasting their time on that, man? You go to the site yourself, read for yourself.
Because I read them,
and that's a disservice to your party, Mr. Kamara, because your plan should be simplified. It should be simplified so that the entire nation
don't
can
look
consume
at manifesto and expect simplification. Go to the site, everything there. Click on all of the links.
That's why I said arrest was effective. I never said I was against arrest because it's simple.
Everything on that
so
manifesto is
what's the purpose of this manifesto? That's why I want to understand what's the purpose of it. If arrest was effective, why do you need a manifesto and a rebranding?
You know the purpose of it.
Well, tell me the purpose. I'm ignorant on the fact. Please explain it to me. No, explain it to me. Since you know it and I don't know it. Enlighten us, Mr. Kamara, please.
I'm not going to waste my time on that.
Education, Workers' Plan does not have anything about technology. I read it. It does not have anything about technology. We cannot be in the 21st century and you ignore technology.
For me, Anthony, I think technology is important.
Listen,
October 18th coming, we'll see the difference.
Mr. Padmore.
Yes, sir.
October 10th, I mean.
I'm coming back.
Oh no!
I'm coming back to rebranding. When someone tell you I'm going to change my name,
you don't need that rebranding.
Okay, Mr. Padmore, everybody know you are Padmore. All of a sudden you come in.
All of a sudden you
all of a sudden you come in. You changing your goggle. Nobody can see your eyeball anymore.
You need to come in.
We don't know whether you're sleeping or you're nappy. And then all of a sudden, I come on the show next time and I say, ladies and gentlemen, please meet Mr. Michael Gwenigali. And everybody said, who? Mm-hmm. Same way Michael Biki Gwenigali. Well, Michael said,
let me jump in here. Look,
go ahead. We're rebranding.
Exactly to your point. I've been looking at the comments.
Jeremy, my phone too low. I will come back on.
Okay. I listen to Dualu. Your battery fini. You deserve
I mean, don't use battery here because that's not right.
Look, I've been listening to these people. One person say arrest, A-R-E-S-T. The other person say arrest, A-R-R-E-S-T. One person say rebranding. The other person say re-emphasizing. Guess what happens when you are in crunch time and you're still trying to figure out who you are? Because that's what rebranding is. It means that you're not satisfied with who you are. And you still feel like you have to somehow redefine yourself. And that's where you are. Okay? I just could. Somebody here posted, I think it was Sam Waller, or somebody posted josephboyka.com. There's no such thing as josephboyka.com. It's Joseph Boyka 2023. You
Three.
don't know this thing because you're still trying to figure yourself out. That's what rebranding does. If you go on that website, you click on the Boyka plan, the whole agriculture plan is one paragraph.
Yep.
It's
Can
fast.
you post the number again? Tell the people to call, please. I want to take calls tonight, please.
Yes, we are. The numbers are here.
There's nothing on there. There's nothing for Dwalo. I'm embarrassed. Dwalo, you embarrass me. Okay? Because I expect to see better things than that.
Joseph,
These guys are using semantics, talking about if you want to say rebranding or re-emphasize it. Look, when I read that article on Front Page Africa, I laughed in my heart and I said, but why at this late stage would they be rebranding? Are they not seeing enough traction? Because these are the questions you ask. When people talk about rebranding, like you read, Mr. Gayman, are you not getting enough traction? Is your brand tarnished? Are people not gravitating towards you? What's the need for rebrand? We all thought Joseph Boyka was formidable. He had some.
Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Joseph Conto, and I'm calling from Washington, D.C., sir. Thank you for taking my call. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We're listening.
Yes, I'm following the show. You know, when we tell the Liberian people that the Unity Party and Joseph Yuma Boyka have no new ideas, their supporters get mad and cuss out all over the place. First of all, Mr. Joseph Yuma Boyka, having to use so many manifestos to the Liberian people or acronyms to the Liberian people. He went from arrest to not arrest with a double arrow. So the question is, why are they keep changing? And if you look at this whole thing, our brother Dwalo came on the show to defend it because you know what? It is Dwalo's idea. It is not Joseph Yuma Boyka's idea. I can guarantee you Joseph Boyka does not understand what is in there. He was not even part of it. He didn't take part in producing or preparing that manifesto. It was just prepared by Dwalo and forced upon him. And all of them accepted it and started running around. Now, in election day, it's going to change again.
That education thing, yo. Y'all look at the education.
Thank you.
Somebody on the phone, my man. Don't interrupt the man calling the man on the phone.
Mr. Gay, Mr. Padmore, panelists, you heard from an objective. He didn't tell us which party he represents or he supports. But
he's an ANC supporter. We know that.
Listen, but what he said there has no parties attached to it. What he's saying, this is, hold on 1 minute. Yes, sir. Your name, where you calling from?
Anthony, put that thing down, man. Let me hear the call.
Your name, where you calling from?
Y'all read it for education too.
We got called on the line. Be quiet, please.
Sorry, please. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Livingstone.
Yeah, man. Great show, man. Look, FOL, man. I get high respect for FOL. But most of the panelists coming on the show here, they just speak with no fact. So how will he come on FOL and just spit us lies without proving any information here? You talking about Joseph Boyka, I don't get Joseph Boyka ideas is old ideas. Look, show me, I've been to Coming website, show me the first idea. You talking about Joseph Boyka, it will be controlled by other people around. Look at Laila Musa Bledo controlling Musa, what's his name, Alexander Coming. No, we know Coming is not going anywhere. So that's why the ANC folks are always attacking JMB. That was just an opinion poll today in District 7 Nima Kante. I don't even hear Coming in there. So my point I'm trying to say is, look, focus on CDC. Go on the website. The arrest plan is the best plan out there, better than ANC. I mean, hopefully you guys can show me the ANC website where I can go and read about their plan, But my point I'm trying to say, the ANC folks just come in and talk and bash about, join JMP like this, JMP like that, but they're not focusing on their guys. They don't have no campaign messages. So the arrest plan is the best. You can go there and continue to read about it. All right? I mean, what is his name? Anthony Gay, just there talking about, a lot of Tabata is just saying over there.
No, but mention what I say now.
Tabata or tapeta.
Mr. Gay, let him
I'm not going to stop you, man. I don't know whether it's tapeta.
It's tabata, not tapeta.
All right.
Y'all need after man.
I don't know how to say that. But my point I'm trying to say, ASC, work on your game. Try to market your
Our pathway is two united party. You don't know that?
Let him make get his chance, Anthony. You get a chance after.
He said you stand. He said Unity Party standing in his way.
Our pathway to the presidential is passing through unity party.
Okay.
I just told you that nobody talk about comments. All the opinion polls. That one is not a phone call. It's in person. In District 7, Lima County. I just watched it today. It is so sad.
It's a myth,
man. Like out of 50 or I don't know, 60 people talk about JMB and George Weah.
And George Weah won that poll conclusively. You must admit.
So, who won that poll, sir?
You want me to tell you who won it?
Yeah.
Yeah, who won it?
George Weah won that poll. I watched it today.
Who won
the poll? That's the question, my man.
So why you ganging up on him?
We just ask a simple question. Who won the poll?
George Weah won that poll. I watched it today. So what the people?
Everybody gang up on the call to say you did.
They play what the VP coming for George Weah winning you there.
No, listen. You mentioned District 7. Who won that thing?
Who won the poll in District 7?
Let's see with District 7. Who won that race in District 7?
Oh God.
District 7 where Musa Benedict is the talk
Musa Benedict in District 7 and ANC not supporting commitment. ANC not get voice there. That's why she's talking.
Let me look, I'm starting from Banga going to Nima. In Swatopo, JMB beat George Weah.
We said District 7, man.
We in Nima. You talking about Nima now?
You got four people against you, my brother. Just leave here and go. Let's call it. All four of them will get on you. You can't win it. Just leave them.
Okay.
Thank you.
This guy's supposed to be a host, but you got it on the side.
Thank you very much.
No, but in reality, this is
your name and where you calling from?
We got another caller.
Okay, thank you. Welcome from Australia. Go ahead.
It's very low, though.
Thank you. Mr. Gayman, thank you so much. I've been following you guys. And Michael Partner. Man, I follow your writings on Facebook, and man, you are one serious bum. But anyway, guys, I just want to make my contribution here about, the discussion, everything that's happening in Nigeria. I just want to also speak about the Unity Party. I think these guys continue to spew out a lot of misinformation about everything that that has to do with elections, and I think they feel that they can win an election based on falsehood. Just spreading information that is baseless. Yesterday, I was on this phone talk as a panelist, and one of the guys called from Liberia and said, "No one is allowed in Liberia to wear any party t-shirt except for CDC. So if you wear one, you're going to get beaten and everything else." And I got really a little bit, anxious. I was a little bit frustrated with what they were saying. And after the show, I started receiving a lot of calls, a lot of invite from people all around the world telling me, "Look, we feel for you. We feel your pain, what you've been going through on the show." And it's just mind-boggling how people can be so deceptive in everything that you find out that they cannot even put out anything positive because they cannot tell you what they can do. They will tell you that we won't move George Weah. That's all they can say. And to a point, I was speaking to them in one of their chat rooms, and here's what I mentioned. Joseph Yemagwaka has not become a president yet. He went to Ghana with his son to go and negotiate a deal where some people wanted to...
what is the topic here today?
Or buy the Wologisi. Yeah, the Wologisi mountain.
Nobody interrupted the other guy.
Costa came out and said everything. Yeah, Costa came out.
Stick to the topic, my friend. You're going different directions. That's not our topic for the day. Oh, okay. Oh, now you want to... I know. I'm going to get muted very soon.
Yes.
I'm glad you know.
Yeah. Now...
You already...
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So, look, this man has not yet become president. He is mute. Someone made a startling revelation about some corrupt thing that you've done, but now you cannot say anything about it. That, to me, is very deceptive. And I think the United Party has to come out and address that issue that Costa made, because it's great and we need to understand exactly what happened in Ghana. Accra. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. We had two other folks on the line, but Alio kept interrupting. You can call, the line is open. We got 5 more minutes to this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the chaos of the United Party as evidenced by either arrest 1 hour or 2 hours.
Arrest 2 hours.
Now they are enhancing the arrest to now call it manifesto. For the manifesto, they are refocusing. So
re-emphasizing
as we are going. We got 6 weeks to election time, and Joseph Walker is reintroducing himself to the people he's been leading since 1972.
Misinformation, misleading information you give
Your
them.
name and where you calling from?
My name is Jerome. I'm calling from Chicago right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do Mr. Gayman.
Very well, thank you.
I've been following you guys' show, man. Thank you very much for the platform and to your panelists. You know, one thing I want to tell you guys is, you guys are just giving us a headache. ANC, CDC, they are not going anywhere. Okay? So, why you keep on attacking JMB? Huh? Why ANC keep on attacking JMB? Why?
It gave them relevance.
Because they are opposite to us right now.
It gave them relevance.
That's what I say. You guys are not going anywhere.
Let a man make his point, please. Respect the callers.
Anything? If you follow his argument, he's not doing anything. He's not going anywhere. What Musability did in my country? The Musability for his days off? No. Hello?
Yeah, we listen to you. Go ahead. You got 1 minute.
Yeah. The Musability for his days was in my country is to serve me? No. What all Musability doing is to serve me? He didn't do it on behalf of himself. He's not doing it on behalf of ANC. So you got to keep on fighting JMB. Yeah, you guys can go ahead and fight him. But he's leading the coup.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, thank you for taking the call. My name is George Paul calling from Minnesota.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you see, having a plan is one thing, but the person, the driver of the plan, and it's another thing. Mr. Barker is no new player on the scene, political scene in Nigeria. So he has a serious credibility issue that he has to, or that he's struggling with. Because he wanted to come to tell people, I will do X, Y, and Z, and he was there before, and there's no real record to prove that yes, you actually do exactly as you're planning. And the thing about it is that people, United Party people will call radio station, CDC people will call radio station, and we also got undecided voters. Most Liberians right now feel disenchanted with politics, and that's the area that our policy is tapping into. Because while people feel that politicians will come and say one thing, and then they'll go ahead and do something totally different. That's one. Two, most of the callers on radios are males. We are not taking the females or voting into consideration as a relate to radio polling. Also, the CPP has in the possession right now of incredible international polling that's going around. I'm going to poll about 20,000 people around the country. Even though Mr. we are in the lead, showing about Mr. Barker, but it's not about a large into other questions as far as who is credible enough to turn the country around, who is more competent to lead the country, and there's other communities in all those areas. So there's still a lot of room to cover it, and I think in the end, CPP is going to win this election. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for calling, sir. Keep in touch. Ladies and gentlemen, we have run out of time. Time flies when you're having fun. Guys, Let's go with the closing. We got another show after us. Mr. Kamara, you feel like you have been under attack? I don't think so. It is your platform is confusing everybody, including yourself. You got confused. You said people attacking you. Nobody attacking you. We just reading. You said we should bring facts. I'm reading the interview with Front Page Africa.
I can answer you now.
Yeah, go ahead with your closing, sir.
Yeah, listen. You see, if anybody's confused here, it's for you. You guys have confused. You guys have confused me to the point where you took me totally out of bounds. And I think Pamo did a great job today. I've always won, but it looked like he won because he got me to in a bad spot today. Now look here. Yeah, he won today. I gave it to him. He got me out of my element. But let me tell you something. Somebody said Joseph Boakai had no new idea. Joseph Boakai make adjustment to his platform. They said, why he made adjustment to his platform? He confused. There you go. Somebody who ain't got no idea, make adjustment. But then because he make adjustment again, he confused. Joseph Boakai got arrest. We don't know what arrest is. We don't know what arrest is. He brought a manifesto, something that projects in short term what the focus is. They say, oh, you get arrest. How can you get manifesto? Manifesto is just a big word. It's just something that projecting what your agenda is. Arrest has A for agriculture. Agriculture is written in that thing I'm reading. I'm not talking about the way he twisting and do all that stuff. I don't know if he game plan. All right? Road is in arrest. Manifesto only trying to project what he wants to do. In summary, if you want the whole detail, the man did it for you. Again, you say, oh, Joseph Boakai get no platform. Joseph Boakai get no platform. Joseph Boakai just put everything right there on the page. Only for you to go and read it. You decide not to read it, but come here and be opinionated. That is fine. Listen, Mr. Gayman, you know what's funny though? The most erratic show we've had more colors than the most logical shows we ever had. So I guess this is the route we got to take now moving forward. But I still maintain that if you never travel from Grand Union to Monrovia, you only happen to see Monrovia because of nothing war. You cannot discuss plans that people put on file that you have no clue about. If you're not an engineer, you cannot be giving estimates for roads when you're not an engineer. You don't know anything about it. That's why they come here and tell you this road costs 50,000, that road costs 50,000, because I'm not an engineer. I'm not going to pretend to be one. Let us stay in our lane. Let us discuss the issue. We know why ANC people come for Joseph Boakai. We know. This is why most of the time we are laughing. We're not laughing because you're stupid. We're laughing because we know what you're doing. You're looking for relevance at our expense. And therefore, we try to avoid you. Most of the time when you go with all this wrangling, oh, Joseph Boakai, that, it's not because we can't go after comment like that. But the problem is, we're not looking at comments in the lens in which you are looking at Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai is very vital. He's very important. So he's a target for you. Comment is not our target. Recently, the interview that you are talking about, Mr. Gayman, the Joseph Boakai was asked whether he will go to debate. Joseph Boakai said in unequivocal terms that he will only debate George Weah. He said that plain and blank. So Joseph Boakai is not counting y'all. He's not counting Ellis Cummings. Ellis Cummings are at a distant fifth place. You guys can go around, hold the call Joseph Boakai name, sing song, yell, call him old, call him stupid, call him man without getting no sense. Everybody can read his document, give it to him. You can read it. You can say all that. We don't care. Thank you again for having me. We'll come here again and I will stating that if you never platted on these roads and the days we call normal days, stop talking because you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Ball back around $13.50 number day in Liberia.
Mr. Gay, you next because he tried to pick on you. Go ahead.
I bought back around $13.50. The last time we left Liberia, rent was $25 Liberian dollar. 100 pounds, 50 kg. So I was not born yesterday. I'm 43 years old. Young. See how young I look? 43. So let me say this to you. I can sit right here and tell you about Philadelphia because you're in Philadelphia with the 21 zip codes in that whole Philadelphia counties. I can tell you that just from the computer. All right? I can also sit here and find an engineer that will give me all the detail, whether asphalt or cement, the cubic feet, or all the different things of a road. I don't have to be an engineer, but when I spoke, I said, based on the assessment that was done, I said me. So you can't make the gun. Now, honor their education. For them, education is critical for the development of any nation, but educational system remains a replete with many challenges that affect not just access to education, but quality outcome. That the education plan they have, the last line is we will set out specific action to address educational challenges in our Liberian sector. That's it. That's your human worker educational plan for Liberia. Now, hey, look here there. I'm on your website. Is that the kind of thing you brag about manifesto and ARS and all that different or ARRS? You don't even tell people whether it's primary education you're going to focus on, secondary education, higher education. You're not even talking about that. In our plan, we'll talk about healthcare. We'll talk about primary healthcare. And the reason why primary healthcare is vital to Liberia, and which age group will get free healthcare services under the Commonsense plan. That's how you have a manifesto. People are saying, but why the ANC people are attacking GMB? We are in a competition, each one of them seeking the same position. How do we distinguish ourselves? We have to distinguish ourselves from the group. You understand? So Joseph Yomo Bwaka knew the strength of Alexander Benedict Cummings. That's why he ran away from the CPP, because he knew Cummings won the CPP Senate membership. So he ran away from it. When the same CPP, Cummings led CPP, UN led CPP, Nyamlikanda led CPP, the Bwaka led CPP, and you can see the record. Who had the best record in the CPP? Alexander Benedict Cummings again. So don't come here and come to lecture us. We are in the competition. Whether you like it or not, Joseph Bwaka say you can only debate George Weah. George Weah now fuck you as an incumbent vice president and an incompetent individual. Disgrace you. And you want to come back and act as you are the so-called alternative to Liberia? No. When we come here, we talk about the circumstances based on what Cummings is best suited to address the economic challenges of Liberia in this 21st century, given the technological challenges that we face today. When you reach today in Liberia, you don't have service. You don't have service. How do we address that issue? Do you know how many jobs technology will create? That's why Communists play for 6 years. Every year, 100,000 jobs will be added to the job market. Currently, about 70,000 people are employed by the government.
I just look up Cummings website. I see nothing about technology.
Don't interrupt me. Don't do that. 100 private sector jobs will be added annually for the 6 year span. That will be 600,000 jobs added to this current 70,000 plus jobs that government has. That is an achievable plan. We will win ourselves off agricultural imported rice in 6 years time by 50%. Not
time.
We'll cut it down. I mean, these things are targeted. They get a measurable approach to all of these things. You can't talk about education and say it's a critical broad statement to education. Are you serious? This is why you run away? Or in our plan? This thing. Y'all look at it, people.
After the tea about your cholesterol, my man. Don't raise your cholesterol too high. Relax.
So, my man, my cholesterol right now, I'm very healthy. I'm very, very healthy, my man. I can tell you for a fact. And that's how I speak. Everybody would know me. I speak this way.
So, get 30 seconds. Down to your last.
Yeah, but all the people interrupting me now, you gotta give me 1 minute.
Go ahead.
So let me say this to you. I'm a passionate speaker. I speak with passion. And don't think there's anything wrong with me. But let me say this to you. You comfort Gifler. You can say whatever you want to say. Cummings has invested in Liberia more than any Liberian politician. Hands down. Look at the man. Resident alone. Show me one Liberian politician who never stole Liberian government money that had a property of that kind in Liberia. Not one. So whenever you talk, take time. The Cummings African Foundation have helped over 200,000 Liberians. The Cummings team, let's forget about Cummings team. The only Muslim university in Liberia, the generator that Cummings provided AE University Computer Lab that companies provided over 22 impact projects, hand pump services across 5 countries that company provided those things. The BWR that company provided the generator. Don't tell me even the PYJ put a technique in Nimakande company contributed 50G to that service. You want to tell me what company have done? 2002.
Thank you, Anthony. It's not a comment can please add, my man. We get it.
Today not comments. Comment on next
Now
week.
I'm responding to the comments that somebody made that you published on the screen.
Save all this. Save it. Save it. Next Sunday.
So don't come here and want to challenge the reason why the Unity Party people are telling we're not fighting you. We are telling y'all we better than y'all. We offer the library.
Mr. Gayman, they may have 5 minutes to speak to close.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gay.
Why you always try to interrupt me, Elvis?
Mr. Gay, next
we just call you to order because you're talking too long.
Mr. Gay,
your time is finished. It's been like 7 minutes.
Mr. Pato.
You can speak it and look. I will do you a favor. That when you speak it, I'll interrupt you.
It's not about interrupting, it's about the time, my man. It's almost 2 hours.
We gotta go, Mr. Padmo.
Also get the additional 2 minutes
from another ANC to another ANC, Mr. Padmo, it's your turn. Closing.
You want to talk about what we are talking United Party? Y'all want the same thing we want?
Well, I think the last 2 hours we have made it exceptionally clear here that one, United Party don't know what they're doing. They are flying by the seat of their pants. And they are pushing this old man, and he is saying, what's going on. I've been to Joseph Boyga's website. I've read what is on there. Nothing. There's absolutely nothing that's on there. How things are going to be done is not on there. How things are going to be paid for is not on there. They're just giving you a pipe dream. Oh, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this, we will do this. Nothing there about how it's going to be paid for. Nothing there about how things are going to be handled, managed, nothing. There's just some basic things that librarians want to know. Is there going to be a war crimes court? So that I can tell you. Is it going to reduce the presidential term in office? Joseph Boyga is not going to tell you. Is it going to reduce the presidential budget for the president's office and the salary for the executive and for the legislators? Joseph Boyga is not. The things that really matter to Liberian people, Joseph Boyga is not going to tell you. He will tell you, Ali will say and say, oh, well, you know what pliable means. If somebody tell you, say, I will make all roads pliable in 90 days. That's cement. We know that that's cement. We know that there's nobody can make asphalt in 90 days. All the road. These things are just obvious. But then you guys make things so delusional that when we make it obvious, then you run around it. Oh, you know what we mean. But then you tell us what you mean. And then you tell us, oh, go to the website. We'll go to the website. We'll see 5 pages, 5 sentences.
5 sentences, 4 sentences.
Oh, yeah, that we get it from. You can't do this to Liberian people again, man. You can't do this to Liberian people again. That is the most hurtful thing. A lot of people ask me, Mike, why you can't leave the old man alone? Because I cannot sit down in my own conscience and just be silent while you do this to the Liberian people. It's not fair. You took my youth. I give it to you. It's fine. Now you want to take the next generation with y'all? Why? When y'all will lead the Liberian people to have some success. You talking about normal days, Aliyu. Normal days this, normal days that. Okay. I remember normal days. I remember what Liberia was like. I remember opening the faucet and pipe bomb water flowing. I remember LEC. I remember security. I remember those things. There are people now 20, 30 years old. They don't understand. When you explain to them, they say, wow, Liberia, like that? They don't even understand that that was something that how people lived 40 years ago. If Liberian youth today cannot imagine how we in Liberia lived 40 years ago, how can they even begin to imagine what the future will look like if they can't even imagine what we looked like before? And then we have an old man, no new ideas. And I said the man crazy. You hear me say that one? I said the man has no new ideas. I'm not going to insult that old man. I want my blessing. I will only speak the truth, and I will speak it respectfully. He is not well. That making us soon as I start reading, they put him inside. So that time, he can't come outside again. Is this a man that is going to get up every morning from Monday to Friday, from 8 o'clock in the morning to probably 8 o'clock in the night, and sit at a desk and diligently do work? He doesn't have it in him anymore to do. Even if he really want to do it, he doesn't.
It can be for 2 months.
Doesn't have it. We just need to be honest with the young people and tell them the truth. I will sit here and do this to Liberia again. 6 years ago, the boy get a country at heart. What would they say here? Today, people seeing it for themselves. Once more, we come again. They say, oh, Aboika we want. No plan, no justification. Now, Aboika already telling you, the only person I will debate, you see that? When you see them start to do those things, because the first thing you know, Joey, I'm not going to debate. So you say, the only person I will debate, that the person that I'm going to debate. That means I'm not debating anybody. How you guys will do this to Liberian people again? You know, I mean, we really need to dig deep, man, in our own conscience and be honest for once.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Murray, take us home.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gayman. You know, I'm the youngest on this show. And sometimes when I speak honestly, people think I'm trying to disrespect. I'm not. The reason people, somebody asked the question, why are we always attacking JMB? It's not that we're attacking him. For me personally, the reason I always put a spotlight on Joseph Boyka is because to whom much is given, much is expected, or much is required. Joseph Boyka has been in the government for over 40 broken years. Let's be fair to him. Not unbroken, but 40 broken years. He's had a lot of experience. He's an elderly man. He should have all of the wisdom from his experience that he gained working in government. He should know how to plan accordingly, how to delineate certain sections of your plan, and how to then communicate that plan with the people you hope that plan will be effective for. We don't see that. That's why we question Joseph Boyka. If this is a 30-year-old man who is wet around the ears and doesn't really fully know what he's getting into, we might cut that person some slack. But this is almost an octogenarian, almost an 80-year-old man who has served in government for over 40 plus years and still cannot come up with a concrete, solid plan that he's going to stick with. Can't come up with a slogan that he's going to stick with. There's always changes and tweaks here and there that shows that person hasn't made up their mind. They're not sold on their own vision. So they have to continue to tweak it because, quote unquote, the Liberian people, they're changing. So myself, I got to change along with them. Like I said earlier on, we follow leaders. Leaders don't follow the population follow their leaders. So you have to come up with a stable plan, a strong plan that the people will believe in and follow you. And I think these little things that's been going on has shown that JMB don't have a concrete plan. His plan is fluid and it can change at any moment. And therefore, it's not a plan that he's going to stick with when he gets into the presidency. That's one. And lastly, I will come to Cummings. Look, for Alexander Cummings, my hopes were high for him because from where he's coming from in a corporate setting, let alone to be an executive vice president for such a big and successful company, he knows what it means to plan accordingly. He knows what it means to come up to when people bring proposal to you, you have to ask them how. How are you going to get this money? How are you going to raise this money? What if so and so goes wrong? How are you going to plan for that in advance? We're not seeing it from Cummings. He has this experience. He didn't get the Coca-Cola executive vice president by luck. I'm sure he showed his business acumen. And the people give him that promotion because he was capable. He had the capacity. Why is he not showing that to us on the political landscape? For some of us, Cummings was our second choice, and even possibly our first choice. But because of his lack of result in this space, in this political space, we've lost confidence in him. Even naming his team, I know we'll get to it next week, but it left some of us wanting. Louis Brown, Gateway McIntosh, the same people we've been complaining about. He can't find other qualified minds. He can't find other intellectuals who are not tainted by corruption from the past. Definitely he could. He's well connected. He has a good eye for talent. He could find those people. But yet again, he's making the same mistakes from the past, and he's probably wishing and hoping for a different result this time around in these elections. But like his old saying goes, you can't expect different result when you keep doing the same thing. He's going to get the same result like he got the last time because he's doing the same old tricks that old politician did and lost the elections that they ran for. For me, President Weah, I would say this to you. I support you, but going after warlords and people who kill Liberia and putting them on a CDC ticket is an abomination. You claim to be the president. You claim to be the man of peace, but you keep associating yourself with notorious warlords and people who kill people. Roland Dewar is not a change that the people of Nima County need. It would just be a younger, more brutal version than Prince Johnson. And he will probably sit there for another 18 years like Prince Johnson. The people of Nima should reject Roland Dewar. He's not the best of you. He doesn't represent the best of Nima County. You can do better, and you must do better. And CDC have to take their support from beyond Roland Dewar. He's not who the people of Nima should be putting forth to represent them. He's a killer. He killed the Bani people in Lofa County. He burned them down. He raped them. We know what he did in Lofa County. So don't bring that person to be a leader. You can do better. Good show today. Thank you for having me on. I will leave it there, Mr. Gayman.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Next Sunday, we're going to have the folks from the CPP. They are all ready. Like Joseph Waka, the Joseph Waka song say he warming up. I don't know where he's warming up. We've been waiting. We can't see where he's at. We know the old man cannot get in the ring before he get electrocuted by his own body. We know that. We know all of these things that are happening. The old man is sick. He can't go out there. His surrogates are saying, why the president in the ring? Why the president in the ring? You go where the people are. The last time I saw Mr. Cummings and his wife and his team, they're out there. That's what you do. You go where you are, where the people are. When Barack Obama was running for re-election, they said he was going to win in the landslide. Yet and still, he was going from door to door. That's what people do. Nobody is entitled. Joseph Waka from 1972. Before that, they say you spent 8 years as a cadet in the old Todman regime. That when you graduated from college, you went straight into the government. You've been working. So, yeah, President, we have a right. You've been in government over 60 years. There have been nowhere where anybody has shown that Mr. Padmore out here working, doing 1-2-1-2, pushing his cartoon and pushing mine. Mr. Gay pushing his, Mr. Morris. There's nowhere in the world where anybody can show that Joseph Waka has worked for Bank of America or Chase when he was in Liberia. He has always been in the employ or the beneficiary of government largesse. This man is on the government cheese, and finally we're going to put him out of the government cheese. You're going to ask President Weah to cut him a deal. We're going to give him his pension, get him some milk, and get him cheese, and all of those things that all people need to survive. But he does not belong in leadership. We know who's pushing him. We know, like the man said, even if Joseph Waka passed tonight, we will not announce his death until after the election. They are hoping that he gets elected. It's not going to happen. We are not stupid here. And I just laugh. Next Sunday, ANC and CPP will be out here discussing their platform. They are quite capable. We reach out to them. They got 2 capable men here, and there will be a lot of folks. We are hoping that...
Mr. Gayman, one last question before you go. What is Joseph Boyka an ambassador of again, please? Maybe you guys know. I don't know.
Joseph Boyka have never been an ambassador. I check everywhere. There has never been an appointment by Todman, by Tolliver, by Doe, by Emma Sawyer, by Julie Bryan, by Charles Taylor, by Ellen. He has never been an ambassador. He is as ambassador as I am. When you talk about
Okay.
he does not have a
But ser-
he does not have a master's degree in agriculture. We checked the record. He came to a seminar at Kansas, and he was there for 2 weeks seminar. He does not have a master's degree in agriculture. Let somebody prove it to us. He doesn't have it. He did graduate from University of Liberia, and that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming on. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, guys.
For the comments. We'll be back Sunday. If it's Sunday 4 o'clock, it is on point, and we are always on point. Thank you very much. And as always, we end with our beautiful song that says, "We are all Liberian."
We are Liberian.